So I recently came upon the question, what is the best method of meditation? And there isn't a simple answer to this question, but we can examine it using a few facets. So the first question is, what is our motive, or why are we meditating? So a lot of us have learned about the health benefits of meditation and how it promotes stress reduction. The biggest proponents of this were probably people like Jon Kabat-Zinn back in I think it was the 90s, with the mindfulness-based stress reduction. So that's a perfectly valid reason. But if you're approaching meditation like going to the gym, then unless you have a very strong resolve, you might struggle. How many people take up a gym membership and then quit when they get bored of it, or they find it tiring, or some other priority takes over? So another reason a lot of people come to meditation, people like myself, for example, or people who I know who've been long-term practitioners, is that there's been something major that's happened in their lives which has caused them to question things. Eckhart Tolle calls this the dark night of the soul. The Buddha says that suffering is a doorway to the Dhamma, or suffering is the doorway to discovering the way things are. But they're both good reasons. It just depends on your resolve. So that's one aspect of this, is what is your motive when you come to this. Another aspect of it is really what helps your mind to settle down and to feel happy. So the Buddha uses this analogy of a king who hires many cooks. So the cooks come in and he fires them one after the other until this really clever cook comes to work for the king. And what he does is he creates a host of many dishes and he puts it in front of the king, and the king has the meal. And after the meal, the cook goes back and he looks at the leftovers, and he looks at what the king ate and what the king left behind. And depending on what he ate, then the cook prepares the next meal based on what was consumed, not what was left behind. And gradually he gets a feel for the king's likes and dislikes and what makes the king happy. And of course, the king decides to keep him on. And it's a similar thing with the mind. The point of meditation, and why it's so important now, is that we're constantly being bombarded by stuff on social media, by our smartphones, by advertising, conversations with other people. Meditation is an opportunity to maybe come away from all that mental chatter and just rest the mind. That's like a first point, is just to come to a state of rest where the mind can actually find some rest and refresh itself. So you look for what is not more doing. That's the reason I was saying, if you approach meditation as a gym exercise, it's just another form of doing. It's just another sort of chore that you're doing. So you have to find something that doesn't feel like a chore. So you find the right environment, you find the right method, and the mind will settle. And this is why you have to explore different methods. Now there's many different methods, and you have to choose what's best for you. There's meditation on the breath, as was taught by the Buddha, which is focusing on the in and out breath until the mind settles down. And while you're focusing on the in and out breath, you bring the thought process onto a sense of examination. It's developing a curiosity. So you're asking, what's the breath like now? Is it long? Is it short? Is it deep? Where do I feel it? And with that, you bring awareness into the body and then into the whole body. So the mind and the body unify into one organism or one entity, and the thinking mind then stops. Similarly, you have body meditation as taught by the Goenka school. You have meditation on each micro movement as taught by the Sayadaw school. You have walking meditation, you have sitting meditation, you have reclining meditation, depending on your body and your state. If you're feeling more calm, you can sit. If you're feeling more restless, you can walk. If you have problems with your back or you're not feeling well, you can recline. So there's all these different methods. What you have to do is you have to look at your motive. You have to look at what sort of temperament you have and what makes you happy. And you have to look at the state of your body.